It's good morning to all of you boys and girls.
Good morning, sir.
It's so happy we are to have our distinguished guest as the panel member, my beloved P. Narasimha Rao, sir. I am happy enough to take into consideration that sir has been my ex-principal in JB Kota. So please welcome sir.
Okay.
Thank you, thanks a lot. Sir is an expert in your biology, so under his guidance we have been there, and we are proud enough to have all your this panel inspection as well as the team member and presently here itself to be by your inspecting your person. So thanks to sir, thanks to one and all. Boys and girls, we start with today's class and we start with the topic called as your brain. So we'll go for the parts of the brain and your structure of the brain. Okay. Let's have the things of your human tendency is that until unless we see the things, it's not possible. Okay. So the entire of your body, this upper portion we are calling this as your head, is made up of skull. Inside the skull we have a sort of your cavity, and let's call, so inside the skull there is a cavity. So this cavity is which contain your brain. This cavity we are calling it as cranium. Thank you, thanks a lot. I'll give you the answer. So this we are calling it as cranium. Sure. And inside this cranium we have your controlling unit, we are calling it as the brain. I hope you understand. We'll go for the PPT, we'll go for all these details one after the other, and then we'll have a sort of interaction from all of you regarding your classes, as well as what will be asked in your board examination. So take step. So we have the brain. So brain is the control unit of your. So brain, let's have the same. We'll have this as the entire structure. So to show it to you, we can't take it out as your living your brain, but we have a sort of model. So this is how it looks like. So let's take it out. This is the entire structure we are having. This is the entire structure we are having. This entire cell. So this is front to front. This is your side view. This is your side view. Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
So this we are having called as the brain. So this brain we can now we will make the brain into this. So we make the brain into two halves. Sure. And this we are calling it as, say for example, so we'll be calling it as your left half. This will be calling it as your right half. Thanks God. Now this brain can also be symmetrical. We'll make it into two halves. Now these halves once again will be broken down your horizontally or laterally. So let's name it. These upper halves, so we can have it like this. Rakesh, I'd like you to show it to this. So this brain can be broken into two of the halves. Can you understand? So one is your left half, the other is your right half. So according to me, this is my left half, this is your right half. Both of them are joined to each other. Could you understand?
Yes,
now
sir.
these your halves, we have once again, we'll take one by one. So we have this upper half, this upper half. This upper half, will be calling it as your CEREBUM. Fine. So let's ask something. What will the lower half called as? Lower half of the brain will be called as? Pardon? Cerebellum. Thanks for. So this will be now be called as your cerebellum. Can you understand? So we have so we'll be calling it as your left cerebellum. I am sure this will be called as your, so this is left cerebrum, this is called as left cerebrum. Is it okay? So this will be called as your right cerebrum. Yes, exactly correct. So and this will be called as your right cerebellum. I hope you understand. Fine. So we are calling it as right cerebellum. Both of them are joined to each other. We'll take by one part. So this brain can once again be divided into three of the portions. I would like to have it. You can break it up into this. So first half, second half, and the middle half. So we will go for different structure. So we will take this as your cerebrum, and this we are having is called as your cerebellum. So let's make it as, so this is called, we are calling as cerebrum, and this we are calling it as cerebellum. Okay? Now this entire of the brain can be divided once again into two halves. From here arises the portion which is this portion which is arising, this portion we are calling it as the extension of the brain. So this portion is generally called as PONS. This portion we are calling it as, anybody from your side? Pardon? Yeah, it's called as, we are calling it as your medulla, and the name is called as your oblongata. I hope you understand what this is. Yes. Sure. The same thing we are having here also. We have these your inside your cranial cavity. We have your brain. So this is your first half, second half, and the middle half. What you say? Yes. So we have here also. This is called, and this portion pons your. This portion, this lower portion, is also called as your. Anybody from your side? This lower portion is generally called as this is the extension of this. We are calling the one. We'll make it as this first portion is this first portion. We are calling it as your pardon? Yeah, we are calling it as your forebrain. So forebrain is something which is exactly on this side of this. And then we have your center one. So we are calling it as your mid, and finally your lower one we are calling it as. So we are calling it as your hindbrain. I hope you understand. So forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. We can also again break it up. So this center portion, we are having the ear inside the midbrain. We have the ear gland, which is the one which is controlling unit. We are calling it as. So we have here. I am using it very ear. So we are calling it as hypothalamus. And from the hypothalamus, we have something called as hanging structure. We are calling it as your. Okay. Now let's take it up. So we are breaking it up. So this half portion, your. So this portion is your. This portion is your goes. Sure. So this is your cerebrum goes. This is the next part of the cerebrum which goes. And this portion is, we are calling it as the midbrain. And finally, this is your hindbrain. Sure. So this portion we are calling it as cerebellum. This portion we are at the top, we are calling it as your hypothalamus. And then we have the ear, which is called as your pituitary. So pituitary, this one is your smaller, and it goes down, This is your pons. This will be your something called as medulla oblongata. Please. So now these are the portions which we'll take. We'll take one by one. We'll take the functions. So we'll go to the functions one by one. So this forebrain is the one which your. Sure, I'll rub it so that you can understand. Now let's go to next. So we are calling it as your forebrain, and then we are calling it as what, your midbrain, and then we are calling it as your hindbrain. Sure, thank you. Now this forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain has the functions. Let's go for at least one function of all these things. The hindbrain is the one which helps us in have a sort of coordination. Okay, and the midbrain is the one which will control all your activities basically. And forebrain, this can again be mirrored. So basic is forebrain is pardon. We are calling it as intelligence. We are having something called as we are calling it as memory. Okay, the midbrain is something. Please, anybody from your side, Chakran, please, if it's possible.
Voluntary actions.
Yeah, sure. So midbrain will be having something called as your voluntary actions. Okay. And involuntary. Thank you. Sit down, please. And this voluntary action will once again be given is something called as. Here we are calling it as what? We are calling it as your involuntary actions. Can you understand? Now, hindbrain is the one which is basically your having the sort of control as well as coordination. So this will be doing the your coordination of your activities. Can you understand? So whatever we are doing, say for example, we are your presently I'm talking to you and moving here and there. So this entire movement, while talking to you, is being controlled from one place to other by with whom? By the your hindbrain. Hindbrain also has a function in our your swimming, walking, cycling, doing exercises, and all these. Sure. Now here in your midbrain, there is also once again. Here we have your. We are calling it as is called as your hormonal control. Can you understand? So we have your pituitary, we have your hypothalamus. So entire of your endocrine glands, everything will be controlled by here. Now here we have intelligence, as we have done this is memory. We also have here. Now let's go for one by one. We also have this portion is your intelligence. This portion is for your touch, and this portion is basically for your speech. Can you understand? Can you understand what I'm saying? Now let's go for your summary and let's go for a sort of your questions. Divijati, please. Divijati, we have your something called as brain has no function in this. Brain has no function in this. So when this your medulla oblongata goes down, this forms ultimately what your spinal cord. Ready? So your brain has no function in your this portion. So what is reflex action?
So the spontaneous action when spontaneous response to a sudden stimuli, and this response is given by the relay neuron in the spinal cord.
Okay, let's do like this. I'm giving this chalk. I'm giving this chalk piece to one of your friends. Please. Ready? Matru, please write. Do you feel that my giving the chalk to him is a stimulus? And his writing on the board will be. So all these things will be controlled from which level? At the your spinal cord or at the your brain? Ready? Let's do one thing. Matru, please write your class 10th. Ready? Matru, write your name. Matru Prasad, I am calling you back. Now we have done 3 of your activities. First of this, he has gone. You told that it is your reflex action. Now when he is writing, are he understanding? Or do you feel that he is understanding and his name? Or is writing all for something? Understanding. If understanding, then which part of the brain will be corrected? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then he has come back, the third activity. He has come back from his spring to here. Sure. Which of the activity he has done? Which part of the brain has actually done his movement from there to here? Hindbrain, are you sure? Do you agree all with all?
Yes,
Are you convinced what he is saying?
Yes,
Let's ask Madhu. Madhu, do you feel Rakesh, please? Do you feel that you are able to walk here to up to there and come back here due to your that part of the brain which is called as your hindbrain? Fine, please continue. Thank you much. We go for one more activity. Thank you, sir. Thanks for. Shreya, please. Shreya, take out. I would like you. Shreya, take out your specs. Shreya, you have taken out this specs after my saying to you. So my words are stimulus, and you have taken out your response. Ready? Shreya, give your name. Which part of the brain you are using for speech? Are you sure? Ready? Sure. Shreya, now presently when I am asking the question to you, do you feel that you are having a sort of increased blood pressure? Yes. So this blood pressure is under the control of your hormone. So which part of the brain will be actually be doing this? Hindbrain, midbrain, and the forebrain? No, it is actually your midbrain. No, sure. So it is the pituitary which is controlling all the. It's okay. Fine, fine, fine. Shreya, you are standing. Now please sit. Now while sitting, please once again stand. Now this control of the activity of standing and sitting is under control of which brain? Your hindbrain. Do you agree? Pardon? Agree? Thank you. Thanks a lot. Do you all agree that this controlling or sit? Okay, thank you. Okay, so this you're standing as well as sitting. Once again you're talking. Everything is under the control of your something called as voluntary as well as involuntary. We go for one more question. You go for one more question. All of a sudden you see that there is some kind of accident which happens and you rush to the person to help without any kind of thinking. What do we call it? Fine. Very good. Shabash. Now we are going to the next step. Now when you are utilizing your brain, you are thinking that how to help this person who has undergone this accident. Are you at that time, will you be thinking? If you are thinking, then which part of the brain will be used? So good you understand the parts of the brain and all these things. So let's have a revision what I'm saying, I'm not going for here, it is gone. So we have your brain. The brain is situated inside your skull. Skull has a cavity. Tulsi, cavity. Name of the cavity. Tulsi, the name of the cavity, please. Which part is? Skull has. Question is this: skull has a cavity. Which cavity it is having? Brain is situated inside which cavity? Anybody? Sure, please. Gayatri, if you can help her. It's called cranium. Thank you. Tulsi, it's called cranium. It's no harm, no issues. You could not say, fine, thank you. We'll once again get back to you. Both of you, thank you. Sit down. So it's situated here inside the cranium. And in the cranium, we have your brain. Brain is situated here inside. And this brain has three of the parts. We are calling it as your forebrain, midbrain, as well as your hindbrain. But on the basis of the symmetry, we have your two. We are having your structures. The upper one is called as cerebrum. The lower one we are calling it as cerebellum. Once again, you can break it up as like this. What you have done. So your one half is called as your cerebrum. This is called as cerebellum. Again, this side we are calling it as cerebrum and cerebellum. When we come here and cut it down, so this upper portion we have your cerebrum, and then your lower is called as cerebellum, and this middle portion we are calling it as the midbrain. Okay, so functions of all these three are your different, which we have taken down as intelligence, memory, speech. For the your four, mid we are calling this voluntary actions, hormonal control. In hind we have involuntary actions, your coordination activities, and the activities. Okay, so thanks to all of you boys and girls, we have finished this chapter. Sure. Thanks to all our sir also. I would like to have sir's comments, please.
Okay, first tell me, total how many students are there?
In class
10
class 10, please somebody from yourself. Rakesh, can stop.
One detail लिखना